your chance to be ruthless.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be...
All right, so get ready, because today we are going deep into the world of Alisha Marie. She's a true veteran of YouTube. You probably know her from her lifestyle and beauty content, but we're going way beyond those perfectly organized drawers and those pastel-colored thumbnails today.
Yeah.
We're going to unpack how she has been able to survive and thrive in the world of YouTube for over a decade, and how she's transformed herself from, a relatable teen into a huge business mogul.
What's so fascinating about Alisha Marie is that her story, it isn't just about becoming really successful on YouTube. It's a masterclass in adapting and just hustling in a space that's always changing.
Yeah.
Like, remember, she started way back when YouTube was like the Wild West.
Yeah.
This was long before,
Yeah.
perfectly curated feeds and brand deals.
Okay, so let's rewind all the way back to the beginning. Who is Alisha Marie, and how did this all start?
Well, Alisha was born on April 5th, 1993 in Riverside, California.
Okay.
Kind of a normal beginning.
Yeah.
But here's where it gets interesting. She launched her YouTube channel all the way back in 2008.
Wow, 2008, that is. YouTube was barely a thing back then.
Right.
That must have taken some serious dedication.
Yeah.
So did she find success right away?
Not really. Imagine like posting videos for years and barely anyone is watching them. That's a real test of commitment.
Yeah.
But she kept at it. She kept experimenting and you're kind of finding her voice. And it's interesting to see how she went from posting random videos to creating this relatable, fun, visually appealing, lifestyle niche.
Yeah.
And it just totally took off.
And that aesthetic, those pink and pastel colors, like the organized routines, it was like a dream world for young people especially. So
Sorry.
What was it about her content that like really catapulted her to YouTube stardom?
Well, one word: consistency. Think about it. She was posting super regularly back when most people didn't even know what YouTube was.
Yeah.
It wasn't just uploading videos. It was about, having a real presence there and building a community around her content. She also was really good at tapping into trends early on. Remember those morning routine and back to school videos that everybody was obsessed with?
Oh yeah, those videos were everywhere. I even tried and failed to recreate some of those morning routines, but it wasn't just about being early to trends.
Right.
Something about her editing style just felt really fresh and different.
Totally. While other people were still figuring out the basics of editing, Alisha was using these creative techniques and this fast-paced and energetic style that would really grab your attention.
Yeah.
It was she just instinctively knew how to keep people watching.
It seemed like she also knew the power of collaboration way before that became standard practice on YouTube.
Absolutely. Alisha was collaborating with all these other, rising YouTube stars, Remy Cruz, My Life is Ava, Tana Mongo, and it was she was introducing her content to their audiences.
Yeah.
And it was creating all this buzz around her channel. And this was genius at the time. Remember, this was before algorithms were really favoring collabs. It was pure, networking hustle.
Yeah, it's they were building this network effect,
Right.
amplifying each other's reach. And speaking of reach, didn't she also have a second channel?
Yeah, it was called Alisha Marie Vlogs.
Yeah.
And that gave her a whole separate space for her more personal and behind the scenes content. And this was a smart move because it allowed her to connect with her audience even more deeply. It showed a more unfiltered side of her.
Which brings us to, I think, another key part of her success, which is her ability to adapt. The YouTube landscape is constantly changing, and she never shied away from evolving her content.
Right.
Remember when authenticity became the big thing?
Oh.
She didn't just stick to those perfectly curated videos. She started opening up about burnout and mental health and the pressures of being an influencer.
That was a really bold move. Imagine being this, seemingly perfect YouTube star, and then you tell millions of people about your struggles. Like, it could have backfired, but it didn't. It just made her seem more relatable and human. It was like such a smart way to turn a personal challenge into a way to connect with your audience, like on a much deeper level.
Yeah, it made her seem way more genuine at a time when people were really craving that like realness. So let's fast forward to today. We know this isn't just a YouTube success story anymore.
Yeah.
We're talking like full-fledged entrepreneur.
Oh, for sure. Alisha has like expanded her brand in some pretty impressive ways. Like in 2020, she launched Pretty Basic, which is a podcast that she co-hosts with Remy Cruz. And it's not just, gossip and chit chat. Like, they talk about real life issues and they offer advice, and they even talk about business, like the business side of their careers.
I love Pretty Basic. It's like having a conversation with your like really successful entrepreneur friends.
Right.
But wait, there's more, right? Didn't she also get into like coaching too?
Yeah. She is now mentoring people who want to become content creators.
Oh, wow.
She shares all of her, years of experience and her knowledge about how to make it in this crazy world of YouTube and online branding.
That's amazing. It shows that she's not just about, personal success. She's also about empowering other people.
Absolutely.
And let's not forget, she is so marketing savvy.
Oh, yeah.
She's basically like a social media marketing guru, which makes her like the dream collaborator for brands.
Right, because she knows how to turn like views into clicks and engagement, which is gold in the online world.
Totally. But this journey hasn't always been like smooth sailing.
No.
We have to talk about when she burned out back in 2018. That was a huge turning point.
Definitely. 2018 was like a wake-up call, not just for Alisha, but for like the whole YouTube community.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, everybody was talking about burnout and how much pressure there is to create, like all the time,
right?
And how unsustainable that is. So it's a super important moment in her career. And also, like, it's a very relatable experience for anybody who has felt that overwhelming pressure to perform online.
Yeah. And what's so remarkable is that she didn't try to hide it. She openly talked about feeling lost and burned out.
Right.
Which is, a brave thing to do, especially when you consider how competitive that platform is.
Yeah.
So it showed like this level of self-awareness and maturity that you don't always see, especially with people, in the public eye. And then instead of just quitting, she took a break from YouTube.
Yeah, which was a risky move in such a fast-paced world.
Totally a risk.
Yeah, but it was a really powerful statement. It showed that success isn't just about pushing yourself to the limit.
Yeah.
It's also about knowing when you need to step back and take care of yourself.
Exactly. And when she came back, she didn't just pick up where she left off.
No.
She pivoted. And I think that pivot is what makes her story so compelling. Like, she could have just walked away, but instead she embraced new platforms like podcasting, and her content became more business focused. So it just shows this incredible amount of like resilience and adaptability.
Exactly. Like, instead of letting burnout like define her, she used it as fuel to evolve and grow.
Yeah.
Which just shows that she's able to learn from challenges and just like come back even stronger.
So here we are, 2025, and Alisha Marie is still like a huge force online. So what do you think it is about her that keeps her so relevant in this ever-changing digital landscape?
Well, I think it's her ability to like adapt and reinvent herself while still staying true to like her core values.
Yeah.
She's not just, reacting to trends. She's actually setting them. Alisha has transformed herself from like a relatable teenager on YouTube to a brand and a mentor and a really smart businesswoman.
And through it all, she's maintained this transparency with her audience. She's sharing her experiences with mental health and personal growth and what it's really like behind the scenes of influencer life. And I think it's that honesty and vulnerability that keeps people coming back.
It's proof that you don't have to choose between like authenticity and success. They can actually make each other stronger.
I love that. So what are like some key takeaways from Alisha Marie's journey so far? What do you think we can learn from her success?
Well, I think one thing is that building a lasting career in like online content creation.
Yeah.
It's not just about going viral or chasing trends.
Right.
It's about like showing up consistently and building genuine connections and being willing to adapt. Because the digital landscape is always changing.
Yeah, and it's about betting a brand that goes beyond just one platform or type of content.
Right.
Like Alisha has shown that you need to be willing to diversify, experiment, and evolve with your audience.
Yeah, and I think maybe most importantly, her story shows just how important it is to prioritize your well-being.
Yeah.
Like burnout is real.
Yeah.
And even the most successful creators need to know when to step back and recharge.
Yeah, those are really fantastic points. So what stands out to you the most about Alisha Marie's story so far? What's like really resonating with you?
I think what fascinates me is that she can balance strategic thinking with genuine passion. Like she's clearly ambitious and, business savvy,
Yeah.
but she never loses sight of that like core connection with her audience.
Yeah.
It's like she figured out this secret formula for turning authenticity into like a superpower.
That's a really great observation. And it's something that we can all learn from,
Yeah.
whether we're content creators or not. So how can we apply those same principles, adaptability, resilience, and authenticity to our own lives and careers?
And that's a great question. And it's one that we're going to like explore even more as we keep going in this deep dive into Alisha Marie's journey in part 2.
Oh.
We're going to unpack specific examples of her content and analyze what made it so successful.
Perfect. Well, we'll see you back here for part 2, where we'll uncover even more insights into Alisha Marie's incredible career. Stay tuned.
Yeah, see you then.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of Alisha Marie. Last time, we talked about her incredible journey from those early YouTube days all the way to becoming the multifaceted entrepreneur she is today. We talked about her hustle and her ability to spot trends and how she's been able to navigate the constantly changing landscape of online content creation.
Yeah, and we talked about her use of collaborations and how willing she was to embrace authenticity and that really important experience with burnout that she had. It led to a huge shift in her career.
Right. But today, let's zoom in a little bit. Let's look at some specific examples of her content and try to figure out why it connected so well with her audience.
Okay.
For example, remember those morning routine videos that she basically made famous?
Oh, absolutely. Those are iconic. But, she didn't just film herself brushing her teeth and making breakfast. It was more than that. Like, she turned those everyday activities into something that was aspirational and achievable.
Yeah.
It was like she was showing young viewers, hey, you too can have a productive and stylish morning.
Yeah, and she filled those videos with all these tips on organization and time management and self-care,
Right.
which were really valuable, especially for her younger audience. So she wasn't just entertaining, she was giving people real guidance and inspiration. So it's no surprise those videos just blew up.
Yeah, exactly. She was tapping into this desire that people have for structure and self-improvement.
Yeah.
And she did it in a way that felt really fun and relatable. It wasn't about being perfect. It was about trying to be a better version of yourself. And then there were those back to school videos.
Oh, yeah.
It was like the ultimate guide to starting the school year off right.
Oh, I remember those, from outfit ideas to school supply hauls to tips on staying organized and making new friends. She covered it all. And what I always loved about those videos was like her attention to detail. She didn't just, throw a bunch of random products together. Like, she really thought about each item and explained why it was useful or stylish.
Yeah, it was all about adding value.
Yeah.
She wasn't just trying to sell things. She was really trying to help her viewers feel prepared and confident for the new school year.
Yeah.
And of course, she always included that like signature humor and that bubbly personality that she's so well known for.
Right. It always felt like you were hanging out with a friend, not watching some random person on YouTube. Which brings us to another important part of her success: collaborations. We mentioned them a little bit before, but I'd love to talk more about how those strategic partnerships played a role in her becoming a YouTube star.
Okay, yeah. Well, collaborations were really smart for a few reasons. First, they introduced her to new audiences. So by working with people like Remy Cruz and My Life as Eva, she was able to reach their huge amount of subscribers.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like you're introducing yourself to people who never would found you otherwise.
Exactly. But it wasn't just about reaching more people.
Yeah.
It was also about making content that felt really fresh and exciting. Working with other people brought a whole new energy to her videos.
Yeah, they often did challenges and pranks and comedic skits together.
Right.
Which reached a much wider audience than their individual content probably would have. And those collaborations weren't just one-time things.
Right.
They often turned into real friendships and long-term partnerships.
Yeah, which shows that she was building real relationships within the YouTube community. She wasn't just treating those collaborations as like transactions.
Yeah.
And those relationships often led to even more creative projects later on.
Right. It created this sense of community and support,
Yeah.
which is so important, especially in such a competitive environment. And we can't forget about Alisha Marie Vlogs,
Oh, yeah.
her second channel. That's where she really gave fans a look into her everyday life.
It was such a smart way to connect with her audience more deeply.
Yeah.
It showed them that even though she's this big YouTube star, she's still just a normal person.
Yeah.
And it gave her more freedom creatively.
Yeah.
She didn't have to stick to a specific format or look. She could just be herself.
And that vulnerability was so refreshing. Like, she was vlogging about everything from trips and hanging out with friends to her struggles with anxiety and the pressures of being an influencer, which is a big change from those perfectly curated videos that were so popular at the time.
Totally. By showing her flaws and her insecurities, she sort of broke down the barrier between YouTuber and viewer. And it created this sense of intimacy and trust.
Yeah, and those vlogs led to her being even more open about her mental health journey, which eventually led to her taking a break from YouTube in 2018.
Yeah, that was a really important moment, not just for her career, but for the whole influencer world.
Yeah.
It started a conversation about burnout and the importance of self-care. And it's really interesting how instead of avoiding that experience, she leaned into it.
Right, she could have easily just tried to ignore it.
Yeah.
But instead, she talked openly about her struggles with anxiety and burnout, which was a risky move.
It was.
But it ultimately made her seem even more authentic and relatable.
Right. And her return to YouTube showed a real shift in her content. She started including more videos about business, sharing her insights on branding and marketing and entrepreneurship.
It was a natural progression for her.
It was.
She had built this really successful brand from nothing, and she had so much knowledge to share.
Yeah, and those videos really connected with her audience, especially those viewers who wanted to be entrepreneurs or content creators themselves.
So she became this mentor, guiding her viewers through this really overwhelming world of online business. And that's something she continues to do today through her content and those coaching programs that we talked about before.
Right, and it shows that she isn't just interested in her own success, she really wants other people to succeed too.
But let's move beyond the content itself for a minute. We can't talk about Alisha Marie without talking about her business skills.
Oh yeah, she's not just a content creator, she's a really savvy businesswoman.
Right, look at Pretty Basic.
Yeah.
Her podcast with Remy Cruz, it's the perfect example of how she used her platform to make something new and engaging.
Pretty Basic is like a masterclass in brand extension. They cover everything from relationships and mental health to business and pop culture. It's always ranked really high in the podcast charts, and it has this really dedicated fan base.
Yeah, which shows that she can connect with people on different platforms.
Right.
She's not just a YouTube star, she's a media personality. And then there are those content creation coaching programs.
Yeah.
Another brilliant business idea.
For sure.
By getting personalized guidance to aspiring influencers, she's able to make money from her expertise while giving back to the community that helped her succeed.
Exactly. It's a win-win.
And it really establishes her as a thought leader in the influencer marketing space. Let's shift gears for a second and talk about something that often gets overlooked. Alisha Marie's influence on the beauty and lifestyle industry.
Oh yeah, her impact is huge. She's been a trendsetter from the very beginning. Remember those pink and pastel aesthetics?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, those have influenced countless creators and brands.
It's true. She's helped make so many products and trends popular, from specific makeup palettes to certain fashion styles, and she's done it all while being true to herself and promoting self-love and body positivity.
Right. She's never been afraid to show her flaws and encourage her viewers to do the same, which is so refreshing, especially since the beauty industry is so focused on these unrealistic beauty standards.
It's a message that really connects with her audience. People appreciate her authenticity and how real she is. But her influence is more than just product recommendations.
Right.
She's also changed how we consume beauty and lifestyle content online.
Absolutely. She was one of the first people to do those morning routine and back-to-school videos that are now so common on YouTube. And her collaborations with other creators help normalize the idea of working together and building community in the industry.
So basically, Alisha Marie's influence on beauty and lifestyle is multifaceted and far-reaching.
Yeah.
She's a trendsetter, a role model, and someone who champions authenticity.
And her impact keeps growing as she expands her brand and explores new creative avenues. Let's take a step back for a second and think about the bigger picture. What does Alisha Marie's success tell us about how influencer culture has evolved?
That's a great question. Her journey really reflects how online content creation has changed over time.
Yeah.
You know, influencers have gone from being internet famous to becoming smart entrepreneurs and brand builders.
Exactly. It's not enough to just make entertaining videos. Yeah.
You need to understand things like marketing and branding and how to connect with your audience.
Right.
And you need to be able to change and adapt to this ever-changing digital world.
Alisha Marie is a perfect example of how to do it right. She's used her platform to build a multifaceted business, podcasts, coaching programs, brand partnerships, and maybe even product lines in the future.
And she's done it all while staying connected to her audience, proving that you can be authentic and business savvy at the same time.
Absolutely. But her story also shows how important it is to be adaptable. The things that were popular 10 years ago are so different from what's popular now.
Right. And Alisha has always been able to stay ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
She's not afraid to try new platforms like podcasting and to experiment with different kinds of content. I think that willingness to constantly learn and evolve has been so important to her success.
And that's a good lesson for all of us.
Yeah. Whether we're content creators or not, the world is always changing, and the people who can adapt and evolve are the ones who do well. Now, let's talk about something that's obviously really important to Alisha: mental health.
Yeah. Her willingness to talk about her struggles with anxiety and burnout has been really powerful, especially within the influencer community. You know, it's a community that's under a lot of pressure to present this perfect image online, which can be really damaging.
Right. By sharing her own experiences, Alisha helped make it okay to talk about mental health. And that's a message that has really resonated with her viewers. Many of them go through the same things, and they've found comfort and inspiration in her honesty.
Her work on mental health is a great example of how influencers can use their platforms to do something good. It shows that it's okay to not be okay, and that getting help is a sign of strength, not weakness.
And that's such an important message, especially today when social media can make people feel anxious and inadequate. But let's not forget about her impact on young women.
Wow.
She's been a role model for millions of girls and young women. She's inspired them to be confident and creative and to go after their dreams.
Yeah, she's shown them that you can be successful while being true to yourself. And she's done it all with a smile and a positive attitude, proving that you can be ambitious and successful without being unkind or fake.
Her message of self-love, body positivity, and mental well-being has really resonated with her young audience.
Yeah.
And it's empowered them to embrace their individuality and take care of their mental health.
And her entrepreneurial spirit has encouraged so many young women to start their own businesses, showing them that anything is possible with hard work and determination.
Alisha Marie's impact on young women shows how powerful positive representation can be.
Absolutely.
She's shown them that they can be anything they want to be, and her legacy will inspire people for years to come.
Okay, so we've covered a lot here. Her content strategies, her business moves, her impact on the beauty and lifestyle industry, and her important work on mental health. It's clear that Alisha Marie is more than just a YouTube star. She's a force to be reckoned with.
And her journey isn't over yet. In part 3, we'll talk about what the future might hold for Alisha Marie and how she'll continue to shape the world of influencer culture. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into Alisha Marie. We've talked about how she went from those early YouTube days to building this huge brand and becoming a mentor for new creators and advocating for mental health online.
Yeah, her story really shows the power of adapting and being authentic and hustling as an entrepreneur. But let's look ahead.
Okay.
What's next for Alisha Marie? How will she continue to shape the world of influencer culture as it keeps changing?
That's the big question. I mean, Alisha has always been ahead of the curve, so I'm sure she's got some really exciting things planned.
I think one thing's for sure, she's really good at reinventing herself. She's never been afraid to change or take on new challenges and try new things.
Right.
So I don't think she'll be slowing down anytime soon.
And speaking of trying new things, she's mentioned before that she might want to launch her own products.
Okay.
And with her influence in beauty and lifestyle, it seems like a natural next step.
Totally. I can absolutely see her launching a beauty line or lifestyle collection. Her fans would definitely support it. I mean, imagine those perfectly packaged products
Yeah.
with her signature pink and pastel colors.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I think they would sell out so fast.
I can totally picture it. But I think she wants to do more than just create products, you know? She
Right.
seems really passionate about empowering and inspiring others.
Yeah, she's always loved sharing her knowledge and her experiences, whether it's through videos or podcasts or coaching programs. So I think we'll see her come up with even more ways to connect with her audience and do something positive.
Maybe she'll create an online platform or a community where aspiring creators can connect with each other and learn and find resources.
Oh, that's a great idea. It would be a perfect way to expand her mentorship program.
Yeah.
You know, she could reach more people and build a really supportive community for creators.
Yeah.
I mean, we could even see her try traditional media.
Oh, you mean like TV appearances or writing a book?
Exactly.
Yeah.
She's already so comfortable on camera and with a microphone, and she's got this natural charisma, and people just relate to her.
Yeah.
So I think it would translate well to TV, or even if she wrote a book. Like imagine her hosting a lifestyle show or sharing her story in a motivational book.
Right.
It would resonate with so many people.
And we can't forget how dedicated she is to mental health advocacy.
Oh, right.
I think she'll keep using her platform to raise awareness, break down the stigma around mental health, and support those who are struggling.
Yeah, I agree. She could work with mental health organizations or launch her own initiatives to provide resources and support. You know, her ability to connect with people on a personal level
Yeah.
and create a safe space for them to be vulnerable is so important.
It's really inspiring to think about all the possibilities.
Yeah.
But we also have to be realistic. I mean, there might be some challenges along the way. The online world is always changing.
Right.
And even the most successful influencers face challenges, you know, in staying relevant and navigating this constantly changing environment.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest challenges is staying authentic as your platform gets bigger. It's easy to get caught up in presenting this perfect image, especially with brand deals and expectations and everything. But I think Alicia's dedication to being real with her audience will be what makes her so successful.
I agree. Her authenticity is one of her biggest strengths, and it's what's helped her build such a loyal following.
Another challenge will be adapting to the world of social media as it keeps changing. New platforms pop up all the time, algorithms change, trends come and go.
Yeah.
But Alicia's been able to adapt and stay ahead of the curve.
She's really embraced new platforms.
Yeah.
And she's not afraid to try different formats and content styles. I think that willingness to learn and change will really help her.
Oh, absolutely. And of course, there's always that challenge of balancing your personal life with your public persona.
Yeah.
Especially when your job is sharing your life online.
Right.
It's tough. But Alisha has always been good at setting boundaries and making sure she takes care of herself.
Right. She's not afraid to take breaks when she needs them. And she's always talking about how important self-care is.
Yeah.
So while there will definitely be challenges, I'm confident that Alisha has the skills and the drive and the resilience to overcome them.
I totally agree. She's a real trailblazer in the online content creation world. And her story is inspiring for anyone who wants to build a successful and fulfilling career online.
Yeah. Alisha Marie's journey is a good reminder that success isn't just about followers and views.
Right.
It's about making real connections, adapting to change, taking care of yourself, and using your platform to make a positive impact.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up this deep dive into Alisha Marie's world, we want you to think about your own journey.
Yeah.
What inspires you about her story? And what lessons can you apply to your own life and your goals?
Remember, being authentic, adapting to change, and having the courage to take care of yourself are important lessons we can all learn from Alisha Marie's amazing journey. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
If you loved this deep dive, make sure to hit like and subscribe for more behind-the-scenes stories of your favorite influencers. Drop a comment below who should we cover next. Stay curious, and see you next time.
Guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best.